continue the story of Percy the Polar Bear.
Percy the Polar Bear Part 2, why not?
Percy the Polar Bear Part 2.
Okay, Frank, off you go.
Now, of course, you're luckier in a way than Esme, because it only costs you 34p per minute. So, where were we? You were listening to that? Yes, that's right. He wanted his house built of ice. But of course you can't build a house on top of an iceberg. So first of all, he has to... By the way, is it your birthday today, Johnny? It's his birthday today.
Everybody,
happy birthday to Johnny. Happy birthday to Johnny. Happy birthday, dear Johnny. Happy birthday to you. Right, Johnny. Tomorrow is your birthday. Oh, well, you ring in again tomorrow. We'll sing it again. Anyway, to continue with the story. So, Percy had to flatten out the iceberg in order to build his house on it. Now, how do you flatten out an iceberg? That's very good. You get an iceberg flattener. And what do you think he would use to flatten an iceberg? You don't know. You're going into the kitchen to ask your mummy. Well, don't be long, because everybody's on air and we're all listening and we want to... Your mummy doesn't know, and she said, get lost, did she? Well, I'm sure she was only being nice to you because she's making your birthday cake. Right. Oh, you've gone to tell her to make you a birthday cake. Well, don't be long. Oh, hi, Johnny. You're using the extension from the kitchen, yes. So you want to hear the story. So what happens then is that Percy the Polar Bear decides to phone up his friend Wally the Whale. Now, Wally the Whale is a special type of whale. He's a WB whale. Now, do you know what that means, Johnny, do you think? A WB whale. A wonderful brother whale. No, he's not a wonderful brother whale. Would you like to have another guess? You wouldn't. Well, he was a warm-bellied whale. He was Wally the warm-bellied whale. Let's say all that together. Wally the warm-bellied whale. Now, yes, tell your mummy it's only £6.14 so we can continue with the story. Your mummy screamed, did you say? Well, how about if you ring again tomorrow and hear the continuation of the story? Yes, okay. Yes, Mrs. Jones. Yes, goodbye, Mrs. Jones, yes.
There we are. Well, there we are, folks. That's our first 2 phone calls today. And I think you'll agree that that was wonderful storytelling. And no doubt throughout the day we'll be getting other people who will be ringing in and asking for continuation of the story. In the meantime, Frank's just got the weather forecast coming up. Frank.
Well, the weather forecast over the Arctic, which is the area I know best, it's going to be very cold over the Arctic, which has an effect, of course, on Muswell Hill, because Muswell Hill is directly in line with the Arctic. I don't know if you people have realised that, but if you draw a line from Muswell Hill to the Arctic, it's very straight. And so the winds come down from the Arctic, and today it's going to be a very bright sunny day, but cold because of the winds coming down from this straight line. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Frank. And now just a little bit of news about the traffic. The traffic at this moment going through the North Circular Road is unfortunately at a stoppage because of a tanker which has been overturned.
Oh, we can get Fred, I think. We can get Fred on the phone.
At Brent Corner. We are at the moment ringing Fred now to see what Fred has to say.
You know Fred?
Fred will soon tell us if he's there. Is Fred there?
Yes, he's there.
I thought Fred was sacked.
Hello? Is that Fred? Yeah.
No, we don't force. There's no voices. Hey, Frank doing his voices. He can't stop him doing his voices.
No, Fred isn't there, I'm afraid.
Okay, Fred's not there, so it doesn't matter, folks.
It's John. John, it's
no, John.
There's no traffic problems. It says there's no traffic problems.
It's clear.
It's clear.
Right, traffic is clear on the North Circular now, and what we're going to do is go for the recipe.
No. The reason it's clear on the North Circular is no traffic on the North Circular at all.
It's stopped?
Yes.
Okay, so don't use the North Circular today, folks. Use the South Circular.
Well, actually, if you could use the North Circular, it would be very good because it's completely empty.
Okay.
But you have to get past the police barriers.
Right. Okay,
Thank you.
Don't use the North Circular today unless the police let you go through. We don't know exactly what the reason is, but anyway, it's now time for Recipe of the Week by Frank Gordon, and I believe it's to do with how to rescue Duff buns. Frank.
as these duff buns were first made by Captain Scott in the Arctic, they require a good deal of snow. This is the first thing. So, I'll repeat the recipe now and you can write it down. Make sure you have a pencil and paper.
Paper, everybody?
Now here we go. Recipe is duff buns. Right. First of all, you need 3 pounds of snow, 4 pounds of margarine, 6 pounds of butter, half an ounce of flour. Now stir very rapidly for 3 minutes. Then, now this is most important. If you're in the northern hemisphere, you must we all make mistakes. You must stir in an anti-clockwise direction. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you must stir in a clockwise direction.
Like Hereford buns, cakes.
Exactly, like the Hereford cakes.
You know, the bread pudding.
The bread puddings.
That's right.
Yes.
Which is available on another.
They are, yes. You don't use snow for those, though.
There's a new video just coming out. If you'd like to mention that about.
Oh, the new
recipe cooking.
The recipe cooking, especially how to make bread. How to make Hereford bread.
Okay.
Right. Now, so then we've stirred clockwise or anti-clockwise, depending on where you are, and then now this is very important. You have to put these in the oven. You have to put them in the oven for a very short time. Now, a very short time means exactly what it says. If you put it in the oven for 10 seconds instead of 9 seconds on a Mark 1, you'll find all the snow will melt. Now, you don't want to have a really duff bun, and that's what happens. You have a duff bun.
Right, that's very good. Thank you, Frank.
So 15 seconds in the oven, and the final thing is you take it out of the oven and you put a cherry on top.
Thank you, Frank. That was Rescue Duff Buns recipe number 1. In a moment we'll be getting some more phone calls coming through for a quick story from Frank, which will be the continuation of the telephone storyline which we've set up this morning called Dial a Beast. The first two, yes, thank you. The first 2 people who phoned through were Esme from California, who had 2 instalments at a very high cost of £780. And then we went to John from Tetherdown Road, yes. Tetherdown, a little boy from Tetherdown, who had the 3rd instalment. The 4th instalment will be coming up directly. We get our next call in. Frank, where do you get these wonderful stories from? Can you just sort of tell us, roughly?
Well, roughly, I get them out of my head. I mean, I just look deep inside myself and I find a polar bear and a warm-bellied whale. And we've all got wonderful things inside us if we only look.